This time around, I'm going to rant about outrage marketing and how to do it right, how to screw up, and the fact that, funny enough, games journalists, the only reason they exist right now is outrage marketing. But first, let me just give to you what my definition is. When I say outrage marketing, I mean triggering people on purpose, doing things that you know are going to piss them off, because that's going to get them to just not be able to stop reading about you and get all sorts of free advertising thrown your way. So I've said this with video games, that this is what they need to do. Just release something that you know for a fact Polygon and Kotaku and all them are going to complain about, and they're going to be writing like 10 articles a day about your problematic game. And that's going to be millions of extra viewers, potential customers, that otherwise may not have been exposed to your product. Now, if you're a big-ass company like Rockstar, Rockstar making GTA 6, they don't need that. They're going to be fine. But if you're an indie and you're trying to do your best to stand out in a very overcrowded market, it would be in your best interest to trigger the game's journalists and get them constantly shrieking about you. And for the reason this works with the game's journalists, funny enough, is because the game's journalists use outrage marketing to survive. The only reason they still exist is because they write headlines and articles that they know are going to trigger gamers, and then they just rack up all the hate clicks as people make videos about their articles and people follow their links and give them clicks. And this is why I sometimes slip up on this myself, but this is why I like to do archive links to sites that I know do this, to not give them the traffic that they want from it. But that's the reason that if you, as an independent game developer, if you want to use outrage marketing to boost the visibility of your product, you can rely on the fact that these NPCs are going to give you all of the free advertising and attention you want. Just trigger them and they won't be able to shut up about you because, like I just said, they themselves rely on outrage marketing to survive. But they're still dying. I wonder why, huh? There's one other thing you need to consider. It's not just enough to piss people off, right? You still have to have something good. Because when the game's journalists do outrage marketing, piss people off, get them hate clicks, nobody sticks around. They don't get any new viewers. They get a temporary boost in hate clicks from that one specific outrage bait article, and then everyone just goes about their day. And then they wait, they watch their favorite YouTubers, whatever, wait until their favorite YouTuber covers another article by them, and then they maybe give them a click. Maybe they'll go there to flame them in the comment section or whatever. But nobody sticks around. Now, if you make an actual good product, if you're making a game, to go back to the example I've been using, and your game is actually good, and you get the Kotaku, Polygon, Eurogamer, IGN, all of these games journalism sites, if you get them to just constantly rip on you, never shut up about you, and how you and your game are problematic and everything that's wrong with the industry, and you personally are the reason that more women don't want to go into gaming or whatever, everybody who goes to their articles, which again, the only reason they're still around, and not for long because all these companies are dying, but the only reason they're hanging on is they use outrage marketing. But the type of people coming to see them aren't people who agree with them. They're people who hate their guts and were just successfully baited by the outrage. Which helps you out a lot if you want to use them being outraged at you to sell your game. Because let's say an article on Kotaku succeeds in getting 1 million views. It's pretty safe to say that 950,000 of those views at least are going to be from people who hate Kotaku and fell for the outrage bait. And then when they see your game, they may very well like what they see, because they're already there because they hate Kotaku. And on top of that, they're going to like your game. So they may actually follow you. They're like, oh, I was just here to rip on them for trying to stir up some more fake outrage. But this thing they're ripping on actually looks pretty awesome. I need to check it out. And this, I believe, is literally the only way that you can actually use games journalism to your advantage in current year. And I don't think they intended to do it, but in this one specific way, they can actually make themselves useful to actual game developers making good games, stuff the customers actually want. Quartering, again, did a video about yet another was it collusion incident with games journalists? Remember during Gamergate how we got 20 fucking articles at once about gamers are dead? Now we got another deluge of articles about how games need to make a statement. So if you're the kind of person who's making a game and the statement is, we want to give you fun escapism, we know what you want and we're going to give it to you, you know damn well that's going to trigger the hell out of them. They're going to write up articles about it, which is going to give you free advertising. And you know damn well most of the people looking at them are doing it because they were hate baited. And they may like what you do. They're going to come to you. So you got this nice relationship going. It's almost symbiotic. The game's journalists, they end up getting all the hate clicks. And most of those hate clicks actually end up going back to you and ended up with more customers and shekels in your pocket. We can make this work. We don't have to completely destroy the legacy games journalist media. We could use them to our advantage. We can actually, for once, make them useful via the outrage marketing that they themselves rely on to even survive in the first place. How hilarious would that be, especially if they became aware of it? If they became aware of the fact that what they do simply so they can survive and avoid being shut down for another few weeks, if what they're forced to do to stay alive is what we are using to our advantage to get more customers for us, they would know in no uncertain terms that not only do they work for us, but they work for us for free. Imagine the tears. Oh, that would be glorious. Just for that reason alone, please, if you're making games, use outrage marketing. Trigger these NPCs. Get them to constantly cry about your game. And make sure you keep sending them messages on social media, email, whatever. Not too much or they're going to cry harassment, but maybe once a month give them an update. Like, hey, look, ever since you started talking about me, I've made another $200,000 in sales. Thanks, guys. How awesome would that be if we made it perfectly clear to them that they work for us? And there's nothing they can do about it if they want to stay employed. And that's all I got to say about that.